Hi, so today we're gonna do a tabletop review of a newly acquired Oris. It's not a brand new watch per se. I've been hunting this ever since maybe the pandemic, and I finally got my hands on it. And if I would look online, there's not a lot of reviews for it, or there's pretty much none. So just go to contents first, so you guys can see the model name. The model is Oris Swiss Hunter Team PS Edition. This would be a 38 millimeter, and this is done in accordance with the PS Team, which will go with a bit because I can't pronounce it, and I might as well butcher it. And this is for the Flieger Museum. So you get this very nice handbook of the Patrouille Suisse. I don't know. I'm sorry if I butchered it. So, any Swiss speakers out there, my apologies. But I just wanted to show you guys this. So, it came with so many variations, like this one with a date wheel, and I got this one without the date because I really do like the one without a date. And there's even this model with for ladies, I guess. This is diamonds and a white dial. And it comes with this scarf. So I'll show that to you in a bit. So very nice packaging. It's a limited edition. I'm not sure as to how many because it was never counted, or it was never numbered rather. And this would be the scarf from Oris. I don't want to bring it out anymore because it won't even fit the frame. And of course you have here your guarantee card and some other card, and basically all this literature as to how to operate a mechanical three-hander watch. I know it's too much. That's what I always say. So we can skip that and go to the watch. All right, so this is the inner box. I guess this is a illustration of gears. And then here is the said watch, some extra links and a hang tag. You have a case diameter of 37.5, about 11 millimeter thickness. This is a 19 millimeter lug span, and then lug to lug, or the effective lug to lug, because well, it is the lug to lug, would be a 46.5. So as the name would suggest, this is a pilot's watch made for the Swiss Hunter PS Team. So this is similar to a dial layout of a 556 or some aviation instruments that you guys can see in the cockpit, but with very subtle details. Like this one, it's broke. There's another circle that you guys would faintly see that's somewhat colored in blue. This is like the inner circle, the Oris printing, and then very minimum branding because again, this is supposed to be a tool watch that they can easily read. So you have the 12, 3, 6, and 9 and batons otherwhere else. This has a proper no date position. So once I unscrew the crown, because it's a screw down crown, the movement hacks, so the second hand stops, and you can set the time. So we have dagger hands, sword hands, and then a second hand with a counterbalance of the Swiss flag there. And then you guys would see some depth in it with the printing because it's heavily applied with loom. And of course we have the I would describe it as like an engine turn bezel, but I believe they have this term for, I forgot the term. I'll try to just include it, but it's similar to the date just, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. I'm not a very big fan of a Rolex. There you have it. But this has a nice detail as well on the side case. So that's why this watch is very thin, because if you guys would see, there's like a dip there where the bezel is actually recessed. And then we have a single dome sapphire crystal, an Oris signed crown, and at the back we have the iconic red rotor of Oris, but you will see the fighter jet that I was talking to you about and was showing to you in the picture is also printed there. So it's a nice touch and a lot of Easter eggs. And Oris did actually go the extra mile for this model, because again, it's one, it's a limited edition, and two, it is for the Swiss pilots and for the Flieger Museum. Now the bracelet is somewhat of an engineered bracelet. It's polished, so the whole watch is like brushed here and then some polishing here, and it's actually pretty cool because I'm not a very big fan of polished watches, but they've done it well enough that it's not that flashy and it still can be subtle, that it can be just like an everyday piece anywhere you go. This is a very good contender for a Gata watch. Now the clasp has this so there's only a couple of micro adjusts there. In fact, there's only one, and then it's a push clasp, I guess, and it's pretty much solid for the clasp. Now it's a good watch, but there's a lot of downsides of this watch. One is the fitment of this bracelet. You guys, I'm not sure if you guys would see there's a gap with the fitment here, because this is a separate link and this is a separate link as well. So I'm not fairly sure of the tolerances, but I see this gap every single time and it kind of annoys me. Actually, it doesn't kind of annoy me, it really does annoy me. So here it is on a 6.5-inch wrist, a wrist roll just for your preference, barrel shot over there, where is flat, very thin for the specs of it. It goes down very well on my wrist, so it wears very well, and it's very legible from afar. But again, you guys would discern already that there's not a lot of anti-AR coating here, but that's a downside there as well. So the cons of this watch, one would be the 19mm lug spacing here, so it's very hard to get some nice fitment of that, but maybe I can forgive that. But this is the biggest issue for me, the gap in the end link here. You guys would see there's a play, there is some kind of play. Two, there's not a lot of AR coating, and three, there's not enough lume. It's liberally applied, but you can only go as far with printed lume. But you know, then again, that's the function of the watch. It is a pilot's watch, and it's usually just printed rather than applied because there's no applied indices. And the last downside, probably because it's a nice bracelet and it's a nice clasp, but the problem is there's not a lot of, there's only one space for a micro adjust. So, you know, I do swell because right now it is summer where I am in, and I did try to fit it in a rubber strap, but again, there's still play and there's still spacing, because I guess where the hole would be somewhat longer than the usual. Anyway, but again, this can be a good contender for a Gata watch because one, it's a 38mm, it wears nicely rather, and it wears compact, very thin profile, decent lume, and good timekeeping actually. So hopefully this is not available anymore because it's limited, but there are some pieces that I see online. Sometimes it's there are some pieces that I see online up for sale, and usually they go really fast because it's fairly collectible. So if you are looking at this specific model in the future, I'm hoping this would help your purchase. All right, toodles. Bye.